with us Mr. Vikram Kotak, co-founder and managing partner of Ace Lansdowne.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm audible properly to everyone at the end? Yeah. So how is the Josh? Great. So like Shweta was saying that Sensex is on, Sensex on new high and, what to talk from now, how the things are going to pan out, let's discuss. Thank you so much, WRC Surat branch for giving the opportunity. Special thanks to all the, key members. Continuously Prashant is in touch with me about did you reach or not, are you in a hotel or not? So thank you so much, Prashant, for the care. Special thanks to Jitubai Khandol, who is my dear friend from Bhuj. He's also CA, who actually coordinated with me with the, Surat branch, and I came here to speak. There's no other better place to speak about equity or wealth creation other than Surat. You know why? This is the best place in India right now to speak about wealth creation. Because in last 10 years, there are 180 new generation entrepreneurs have come who has created 1,000 crore plus wealth individually. 180 all over India from small cities. And of that, 10% came from Surat. So Surat has the highest number of people who generated the wealth over 1,000 crore in last 10 years. So there cannot be any other better place than, than Surat to speak about Indian economy. And also, it's the most opportune time. Okay. Also, it's the most opportune time because we are at the best times in terms of lot of new records we are creating. So today, if you look at the highest auto sales in the country, right? Highest GST collection in the country, lowest NPA in last 2 decades. So these are some of the numbers which are doing very well. The highest power consumption, highest railway freight data which is coming up. So many areas the country is moving towards a new LIP, the new GDP level, the new Sensex level. And all these things are getting more and more accomplished, more and more getting into the, you look at retail sales data on the consumer goods, you look at the real estate sales, all the data are showing one sign that India is doing extremely well. What are the challenges right now in India? We have the biggest challenge right now from the world. India is doing extremely well, and all of you know why India is doing well, right? So, few factors why India is doing well. Clearly, the demography. We are the youngest country among the sizable country in the world. So that's one big opportunity. Second, there's a great governance by the government which is running right now. They're doing extremely good job in terms of creating the infrastructure, creating the new opportunities. The manufacturing story of India is panning out. Also, there's an entrepreneur skill of India, which is also helping a lot to us to build up the next wave of the boom in the country. So these are the few factors why India is doing very well. But what are the challenges to India right now? Let's talk about challenges. The world is going through a very difficult path. Why world is going through a difficult path? Because we are seeing the demography of European, Japanese, Chinese are going towards the sunset side. So they are getting more older, and the productivity, their efficiencies are coming down. So that's the reason why we are seeing the challenges. There's going to be a global slowdown. American economy, which was doing extremely well till now, and they are seeing sudden slowdown because of very high inflation and very high interest rates. So we're seeing a lot of challenges coming from that side of the world also. But actually all these challenges are actually good for India. Because when world slows down, India can shine. Why India can shine when world slows down? Because the commodity prices come down. The oil price come down. So India has a huge opportunity to save money on the commodity and oil. So India, the world slowing down is very good for India. But when world goes into recession, which is what the worry is there by the World Bank and the other big authority, then we have a problem because we are connected to the world. Today, we have a very high export on IT or healthcare, the pharmacy, like Aniket was saying. We are connected, so we supply to the world. So when the world slows down, our exports also have impact. So this is how the world, but if the world is booming too much, then also we are worried. Because oil goes up, commodity goes up, so we add to the inflation. So net summary, India is in a very good shape. Now as an investor, what we need to do now, right? So I always tell myself for last 25 years that 3 questions you have to ask before you invest into anything, right? You ask a question, when to invest, where to invest, and why to invest. A very 3 simple thing. Where to invest, what is the opportunity? The opportunity is in front of us. Today, luckily, every sector of India is underpenetrated. You pick up auto, two-wheeler, four-wheeler, airline penetration, you take any data, cement, railways, capex, manufacturing, every data shows air conditioner that we are underpenetrated. And let me give you some data points. You know how many percentage of people goes by airlines? So only 1% of Indians have a 50% of airline traffic. So you understand that 99% of people have rest 50% and some of them are not in the airline. You know how many people invest into SIPs or mutual fund? Only 2.6% of Indians invest into the mutual fund. So what I'm trying to say, the rest opportunity is so huge in front of us that this can be a very, very big game changer. Let me tell you one more data point which will surprise you. India has built almost 75 airports in last 9 years. We had 75 airports and now we are 148 or 149. We have 150 airports today in the country. In 9 years, we built 75 airports. But you know, none of India's airport is in top 10 of the world in terms of traffic. Because we are still developing economy and this can happen over a period of time. So I'll tell you a surprising fact that the #1 airport, which handles the highest traffic in the world, is in USA, Atlanta, which handles 8.6 crore people every year. And the population of Atlanta is 5 lakh people. So look at the development which is seen in the world. So India is on that path to move further and further and forward on that side of it. Let me put it one more data point to you. This is like Jitu Bhai was telling me in today morning that, you know, Vikram, you're in Surat and Surat want always good ideas that kya paisa nakhwana, kya thi paisa double thase, triple thase. So at the end, Jitu Bhai will give you one idea which will triple the money in next 2-3 years. So that's just remind me for that idea. So let me talk about the what is a sector-wise opportunity? Which are the sectors we like and what we think that the sectors can do over a period of next many years? One of the important sector which I think thanks to deglobalization, COVID, and also Narendra Modi ji's continuous effort to make in India. And this was not successful when he started. But because of COVID, we all realized that we cannot depend on the world. So we started doing manufacturing like we had seen COVID vaccines, we had seen the pharma equipments. But today we are seeing this is moving much beyond that direction. Today, you know, India is manufacturing iPhone 14, right? Our total mobile production has gone to 17,000 crore annually from 1,000 crore 7 years back. So we have taken a quantum leap in this. I came by Shatabdi, I'm going back to Mumbai by Vande Bharat. In 2 years' time, we'll be exporting our Vande Bharat to, South America and the Africa and the Southern Asian region. So what I'm trying to say that manufacturing opportunity is so big for India. So biggest theme for India today, in my view, if you look at 1970s and 80s for India, we have seen, agriculture as a very important growth opportunity. In 2000, 2010, 20, we've seen IT sector and services has done extremely well. But I think next 20 years, if you ask me, the biggest bull run in India will be the manufacturing and the capex cycle. Because we have the parameters which can actually drive this capex cycle. What are the parameters? One, if you remember, Nirmala Sitharaman came in one of the budgets in 2019 and she got the corporate tax rate from 35 to 25. That's the biggest thing they've done to ease out, to incentivize people to invest more back into the companies, back into the capacity. That is the one reason. Second, the PLI scheme which government has launched in almost now in 44 sectors roughly, including semiconductor. So that scheme is helping people to invest into the local market. There is a huge support from government in terms of incentive. Second. Third, if you look at it last 15 years, India has not invested too much money into the capital goods sector or capex or capacities. So you look at leather, tire, petroleum companies, they're all full in capacity. So manufacturing, in my view, and with the interest rate where they are, this is looking to be a very, very good sector. So that's a one sector which I think will do extremely well over the next 5 to 10 years. Second, like she said that, Indian invest, only 1% Indian invest into equity, despite we have such a big population. That's true. Because we save almost $800 billion worth of money every year as a country, as a total saving, of which 50% goes to real estate without touching it. $400 billion, only 6 to 7% comes into financial market. So that number, in my view, will go to 30, 40%. So from 4%, in next 20 years, this will go to 40%. Now, what will happen to that? One, it will jump by 10%, and also we are growing at average GDP of 7% roughly. So that number will look like $3 trillion in next 20 years, from $800 billion. So $3 trillion, assume we are at 30%, I think that number for India will look, a trillion kind of number will come into the equity market only from Indian retail investor. If you know South Korean market, right, where when FII sells there, the market goes up because retail buys. And retail has a more power than the FII in the South Korea. But India today, we are so dependent on FII. We always watch, I know a lot of traders watch every day evening FII sales data. कि आज FII ने कितना बेचा है, तो कल बाजार गिरेगा या ऊपर जाएगा. But that is changing a lot. A lot of people are coming to the SIP. A lot of people are coming to the, mutual fund. But unfortunate part is very concentrated today. Only 2.8 or 2.9 crore unique folios in mutual fund, of which 42% from Maharashtra, and only 6% from Gujarat. So I know Gujaratis are more traders. They don't like mutual fund. They want to do themselves everything. They want to buy in morning and sell in evening. But this is the data. So this data will change very much. I think more and more next generation want to look at the career, not only stock market, but also want to look at various areas. And if he's a doctor or lawyer or a CA practitioner, he'll not waste as much time into the equity market. So that's a one sector. First, I said manufacturing. Second, the retail coming to equity market. That's a second big opportunity for India. Now, who will benefit from that? Who benefits from when retail comes to equity market? Exchanges, because retail invests through the exchanges. Brokers, mutual funds, insurance companies, depositories. These are the beneficiaries. So these are the sector. They're small sectors, but they'll benefit a lot from this big move. Third very important sector in my view, which will benefit big way going forward, is the outsourcing. Like Apple has started outsourcing through India, like Vande Bharat, I said, the exports happening from India, which is more related to defense and capital goods side of it. So that's another sector which will do extremely well. I think our IT exports are doing well, very well. But I believe that there'll be a short-term slowdown in India's IT export because global slowdown, because we are all dependent on the global market. Last but not the least, the sector which will do very well is the real estate, because Indians will never lose a habit of investing into savings into physical assets, even including myself. And so real estate will do extremely well. Also, I remember when I bought my first house in 1998, I paid HDFC 17% mortgage loan rate, interest of 17%. Today, we get at what, 8.5%, 8%, 9%, depend upon your credit level. So I think this is the other opportunity which we have. I think the housing sales, the housing demand in India is going to take a big leap thanks to the interest rates which are lower. And also this time the interest rates are structurally lower. These are not going to go up back to 17, 18% level because of the very well management from the Central Bank of India, the RBI, and the government on the finances. This year, you will not believe that first year after 25 years, we'll have current account surplus. When I say current account surplus, is your net export to net import will be neutral. Otherwise, we had a peak of 4%. And that's a sizable amount. That's a $200+ billion rupees. So we'll save that $200 billion rupees in this side. Also, one of the other factor which I believe is going to be very strong in next 10 years, we always seen rupee depreciating, right? We always seen rupee moving from, say, I remember in 2008 when Lehman crisis started, 48 was rupee, today we are 82. So we depreciated against the major currencies of the world. But look at the last 1 year. We started appreciating against most currencies of the world, except yen, except China, and except US. So I think my view is that going forward, next 10 years, our currency will get more stronger. We'll reduce, as we reduce our import dependence, we don't need more dollars. So we actually will start, say, taking oil from Russia, crude from Russia or other countries. We'll see our rupee appreciating. I'm of the opinion that next 20 years, Indian rupee will appreciate by 2-3% every year. So like we are depreciating 3-4% every year, we'll see appreciation 2-3%. So you may not be surprised after 10 years, rupee will be at 65 or 70 or maybe 60 pegged to the dollar. So I think that's one other very, very important and positive thing. So some message is very clear. It's a 20-year bull market, like Aniket said. We can't miss out this. If you know where to buy, what to buy, and when to buy, if you know that things very clearly, then we can make a lot of money in this bull market. I can bet you that within this room, you'll find the same stock. Assume, let's talk about Zomato. You'll find one guy will say it's a bad stock, one guy will say it's a good stock, right? A guy will say it's a bad stock, bought at 160, and guy will say very good stock, we bought at 40 because price is 80 now. So you always find when to buy is equally important in this market. It's not that when everything is looking good, the channels are talking about new high and all that. Possibly you have to be careful on those times. You have to buy when the things are tough, things are bad. And luckily, India being an emerging market, we get enough opportunities over years and years. We had COVID, the biggest opportunity of lifetime. People have made tons of money. Every stock, I know, every good quality stock have either doubled, tripled, or gone 5, 6 times. So that kind of opportunity you get every 2, 3 years in equity market. So that's other opportunity which I think we should do. So when to buy, what to buy, and where to buy. Because again, when you look at the Indian diaspora of 5,000 stocks, you'll find some are blue chips, some are chronic promoters, some people are not going to make money for you. So be very careful about what you're buying. So what you're buying, when you're buying, and and why you're buying. So why you're buying is because of the India opportunity, which is very simple. Why is very simple. What and when is where the really people get struggle more. Also, let me put a couple of more things. I was also looking at some data yesterday. The Warren Buffett, yeah, he pays. How much tax he pays every year? 25,000 crore. He's a 4% of India's total tax collection, a single man. So you'll see a lot of Buffets happening in India. A lot of Buffets will become in India in next 20 years. So you'll see that kind of things playing out. That's other data I thought I'll share with you. And let me also talk about education. Also, let me tell you about what we need to do. Now, government is doing a good job in infrastructure, capex, manufacturing. But what I think we are missing today, and when people say, I want to send my son to America for study, why is sending there? What are the positives of America? What we need to do as a country? I think we need to have a solid education system. I think we need to work a lot on that. Today, 25 crore kids are there in India who are students, and the total government budget is $14 billion. And we send 6 lakh students every year to US, Australia, UK from India. They spend $10 billion. So 25 crore students has a $14 billion budget for education. And that rich people who are like at the top of the class, they actually spend $10 billion for 6 lakh students. So I think that sending outside student for studying US or UK or Canada should actually cut down if you have the great universities in the country. Second, the country needs to focus on R&D. We are too less on R&D. You know how much, and innovation. You know how much is a total internet traffic in the world is consumed by only Netflix and YouTube? 32%. So total internet traffic, 32% is only Netflix and YouTube. These are two American companies. Innovation. R&D. I think we have to spend a lot on R&D. This country has to go towards R&D. We have done a good job in defense to some extent, but we need to do across the board. So I think that's another big opportunity which we have in front of us. So to summarize, India is a mix of 4 countries today. We are Swiss country. The top 5% of people, 0.5% of people are like Swiss. They are the top of the table. Then the rest 10%, next 10% who earns around $9,000 per capita. India's per capita is $2,400 right now. $9,000 is a per capita of the next 10% people in India, which is like Mexico. And then you have the next 10%, which is like a Philippines, $4,000 per capita. And worst part, which I feel, 78% of Indians has a per capita of $1,250. I think if you don't bring them up, if you don't bring that 78% from $1,250 to $5,000, we'll not be able to enjoy what we are creating for us. I think social inclusion is going to be very important. Social infrastructure, social security is going to be very, very important for the country. So if you want to build a solid country, because we're a very populated country, we are not a small country. 140 crore people growing at 2% every year. So you can create a social unrest and all that. So I think it's a very important point to have a social infrastructure, a good medical infrastructure, education infrastructure, and also the, social security for long-term post their retirement. So a lot of unorganized laborers don't have social security. So that's the other data point which I thought is very important. Yeah, and also let me share a couple of data with you, and then I'll kind of leave here. I'll open for the Q&A. I like Q&A more. We can talk freely about any questions you have. So let me talk about 2 things I learned over the last 27 years. One, long-term investing, and second, asset allocation. Let me start simple one, asset allocation. We need to have asset allocation. Whatever Jitu bhai say, I say, but pura paisa equity mein dalo. I'll always advise people to have asset allocation. And it should be a very simple principle. 100 minus your age. 100 minus your age should be your equity. So if I'm 50 today, my 50 should be equity. And I have to rebalance every year on my either financial year or either my birthday, whatever I like. So 50 should be equity, 50 rest should be whatever you want to do, gold, real estate, whatever you like. But keep of that 50, 20% liquid always. Because liquid, if you have money lying liquid in COVID, you can actually buy a lot of good quality stock. And also for the medical investors. So asset allocation is very crucial for all of us. It's compulsory to have. And second, long-term investing. We've grown seeing this market. Like 28 years, I'm seeing this market. I've seen stocks growing by 200 times, 300 times. I own Kotak Bank since my IPO days, or Maruti since my IPO days, in a good sizable quantity. We made almost 60, 70, 80 times money, Bajaj Finance. So why long-term investing? Let me actually throw a very nice data point to you. India's BSE Sensex started 43 years back, roughly. And that means around 11,000 working days the Sensex has operated. Of 11,000 working days, 53% of the days, Sensex gave a positive return. 53. So 47 has given the negative. 58% of week, Sensex has given positive. So 53 becomes 58 when you go from day to week. Let me go to month. 61% time, India's Sensex has given the positive return. So 53, 58, 61. Let me go to quarter. 64% time, the quarterly return of the markets are positive. Then let me go to year. 64 goes to 72 straight away. So 72% of the years of 43 years, India's market has been positive. Let me go to 5 year. 96% of the time, on a 5-year period, markets are positive. And let me go one step further, 10 year, and you have the answer better than me, right? How many, Jitu bhai? 100%. So on a 10-year journey, this market is given always positive return. And I believe this is the just start of the journey. Like Aniket rightly said, we are just at the start, cusp of the next big bull market. It's going to last for 20 years, bare minimum, if not more. Even, and a lot of people ask me question કે 24માં મોદી સાહેબ આવશે 28માં યર શું થશે તો બધા કન્ટ્રી ચાલવાની જગ્યા કન્ટ્રીમાં તો એન્ટરપ્રિન્યોરશિપની ઓછી જ નથી બીજા 5 મોદી બોર્ન થશે એટલે this country will run on autopilot. You need a good governance, you need a good discipline, which I think he's doing it. But beyond that, this country run autopilot. We don't need anyone to really, we need a good leader, but we don't have that character. We had Atal Bihari Vajpayee, a great minister in the country. But after Modi came and someone else will come. So a lot of people worry that I 24 के बाद market में पैसा लूँगा, election के बाद डालूँगा. So that worry actually people should not have. That's my other humble opinion. Let me end with the what I missed, Jitu bhai? I have to give the one tip, right? One tripler idea you said na, this morning to me. So my idea for you, with stop loss, huh? Okay. So long Nifty, note down if you want. Long Nifty, no stop loss, and your target is Sensex in next 5 years. I hope this is clear message, right? So 18,800, I believe it go to 65,000 in next 5 years. So this is a growth I see in the Indian economy. Maybe 5 can become 6 or 4, I don't know, but this is what the journey we are seeing. We believe the markets will grow year over year at 18 to 19% CAGR for next 10, 15 years. You may have some dip here and there, but overall CAGR will be that. So I'll stop here. I think I try to kind of give you the broad summary of it, and since all of you are learned chartered accountants, I'll not teach much about the financial data and all that, but net summary is that what you buy, when you buy, what you buy, why you buy, and when you buy is most important. And remember this Sensex wala mantra, where you make 100% time positive return, 96% time positive return on a 5-year journey. So I think these are the two good examples of long-term investing in a time which was tough for India. Time was very tough for India till 2014, 15, 16. Now the time is ripe. So I think it's a great opportunity for all of us. So I'll stop here. I'll take as many questions you have, or whatever time you have as per this schedule. Thank you. So any questions? Yeah. Can you arrange a mic for them?
Mic. सर इक्विटी मार्केट में पब्लिक इश्यू में पहले मैं बहुत पहला मेरा एक्सपीरियंस बता रहा हूँ सर। 2006 में मैं इक्विटी मार्केट में लगा था और सेल करके प्रॉफिट करता। फिर शेयर मार्केट टूटा तो मैंने सारे 80,000 थे शेयर बेच दिए, 40,000 कमाया, उधर गंवा दिया। फिर कोविड तक सर मैं बिल्कुल ही वापस शेयर मार्केट में नहीं रहा। कोविड में मैंने SIP में लगाए, फिर उसमें SIP के बाद में मेरे को गेन हुआ काफ़ी, जो मैंने रिडम्पशन किया। तो अभी 2022 में सर मैं इक्विटी मार्केट में अभी मैं फुल टाइम इसमें ही इक्विटी में हूँ। लॉन्ग टर्म नहीं करके सर शॉर्ट टर्म कर रहा हूँ। मेरे को समझ में आ रहा है कि जब 1-1.5% ऊपर जाता है, अनरियलाइज गेन होता है, उतना मैं सेल करता हूँ क्वांटिटी, और जो पैसा आता है मेरा कुछ मेरा SIP जैसे फंड इन्फ्यूज करता हूँ, और वो पैसा मैं 2%, 1% जो डाउन होता है वह एक स्क्रिप्ट में खरीदता हूँ सर। R&D का आपने बताया, मेरे पास 134 स्क्रिप्ट हो गए सर। मैंने पिछले साल लॉस बुक करके 70 अच्छे स्क्रिप्ट जो है करीब निफ्टी 50 में से मेरे करीब 43 मेरे पास है। इसके अलावा स्मॉल कैप, मीडियम कैप, कैपेक्स, इसके अलावा जैसे ऑयल एंड गैस, ऑटो, अपने फाइनेंशियल मार्केट, सब तरह के डाइवर्ट जो जितने हैं सर, अभी 70 मेरे पास स्क्रिप्ट है। और अभी ये जो बिल मार्केट स्टार्ट हुआ 28 मार्च से, मैंने पूरे ईयर में सर डिविडेंड के साथ 3% कमाया पिछले साल, और इस साल सर मेरे अभी जो है मेरे को 5% पर मंथ, मेरे को जो है पर मंथ 5% रिटर्न आ रहा है सर।
आपसे मुझे सीखना पड़ेगा। और जीतू भाई आपने मरी आवे हमने, क्योंकि आप इतना सेलिंग बाइंग कर सकते हैं, वो भी बहुत बड़ी बात है। तो मैंने काफी शेयर्स, तो मेरे पास तो पहले 24 स्टॉक है पोर्टफोलियो में, 24, 140 तो कर नहीं सकता हूं मैं, तो 24 स्टॉक मैंने, उसमें से 12 स्टॉक मैंने 10 साल से नहीं बेचे हैं, तो देखा ही नहीं उसको खोल के। ये मारुति मेरे पास 168 रुपए का पड़ा हुआ है, 9,800 का भाव है, और 168 से डिविडेंड आ गया मुझे। यहाँ पे एबट पड़े हुए हैं 550 रुपए के, अभी 22,000 रुपए का भाव है, उसका डिविडेंड 1,000 रुपए आ गया है। तो मैंने बेचे ही नहीं, बिकॉज बेचने की से मुझे क्या लगता है कि अगर आप इंडिया की मार्केट में से आप जीतू भाई जैसे हो कि फुल टाइम बाजारी करते हो, राइट, तो बात अलग है कि आप उसको ट्रेडिंग करो, ये करो, बट इफ आप यू आर नॉट फुल टाइम इन प्रोफेशन of trading or equity, then my advice to keep a long term. You make more money. Good stocks keep for long term, even mutual funds. You should keep SIP for long. I remember my son, he's now 21, he's in US in studies. उसका मैंने SIP चालू किया था when he born. 2 SIP 10,000 के बनाए थे, पूरा खर्चा एजुकेशन का 2-2.25 करोड़ रुपया पूरा SIP से आया है, पूरा का पूरा. So my advice to keep long term. और अगला 15-20 साल मुझे लगता है बेचना, खराब स्टॉक बेचना चाहिए, अच्छा स्टॉक क्यों बेच रहा है? अगर आपको इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ लग रही है, अगर आप वही, जैसे मैं काफी लोगों को बोलता हूँ, मुझे लोग बोलते हैं मारुति क्यों लेते हो? बोले इंडिया में ज्यादातर लोग मारुति यूज करते हैं, सेकंड की सबसे ज्यादा वैल्यू मारुति की आती है। कहीं भी चले जाओ, लेह लद्दाख भी चले जाओ, वहां पे भी आपको मारुति का स्पेयर पार्ट 150 रुपए में मिल जाएगा। अब फोर्ड की गाड़ी घर पे पड़ी रहेगी बाद में, पार्ट नहीं मिला। तो यू नो दैट लॉजिक, आपको जो पसंद है एज अ कंज्यूमर वही स्टॉक लो। बट आपके जितना फास्ट चर्निंग मैंने नहीं सीखा है, सॉरी, बट हम ज्यादातर 5-6 साल 7 साल का व्यू लेते हैं, अनलेस कि स्टॉक का कुछ यू नो कंपनी का कुछ प्रमोटर क्वालिटी खराब हुई, या कुछ गवर्नेंस इश्यू हुआ, या फिर सेक्टर में कुछ इश्यू आ गए। जैसे न्यूज़पेपर्स हैं, न्यूज़पेपर चलने वाले नहीं है बिकॉज अब सब ऑनलाइन हो गए हैं, तो न्यूज़पेपर सेक्टर रह के फायदा नहीं है। तो हम जो आउटगोइंग सेक्टर्स है वो बेचते हैं, बट इनकमिंग सेक्टर्स नॉर्मली 10-15 साल रखने में ज्यादा फायदा है, मेरे को ऐसा लग रहा है। लॉन्ग टर्म इज बेटर। बट आपका फिर भी अच्छा है, मैं आई कैन से दैट यू आर डूइंग गुड जॉब। आप 28 मार्च को ऐसे प्लानिंग करके, यहाँ फिर आपका कोई एस्ट्रोलॉजर होना चाहिए, कुछ तो आपका यहाँ कुछ टेक्निक है आपका जो हमको सीखनी पड़ेगी, तो अपने को पकड़ना पड़ेगा इनको।
Vikram bhai, my question is, everywhere we go, every fund manager or whatever maybe he says that in the long run, if we invest for the long run, we can make a money. But there are two ways of that. In the long run, we all have to die. So my question is, what is the outlook of India? क्योंकि अभी अब हम सबको पता है, there is the problem is not the India, problem is the global market. तो आपका व्यू क्या है, मैक्रो एंड माइक्रो बोथ, कि भाई यहाँ से 2024 फर्स्ट हाफ, what will be the impact of global economy on Indian economy, and from there on, or at least in the end 2024 end, where we have मेरा कहने का मतलब सेंसेक्स यहाँ से कहाँ तक? It's difficult to time the market, but still, what's your view on that?
सिद्धू भाई ने 3 क्वेश्चन पूछे। पहला क्वेश्चन पूछा कि एवरीवन हैज टू डाई, तो उसके लिए ये करना जरूरी है कि जो 20% मैंने बचाने को बोला है, जो इक्विटी में निर्णय लेने को बोला है, उसमें कि गोल्फ खेलिए, यूएस चले जाइए, लुई विटन का बैग लेके आइए, गुची का बैग लेके आइए, तो वो भोगने का पैसा है, वो खर्चा करने का पैसा है, वो आंसर वो हो गया। कमिंग टू शॉर्ट टर्म प्रेडिक्शन ऑफ सेंसेक्स, मैं बहुत आप मुझे जानते हो बहुत साल से, मैं शॉर्ट टर्म प्रेडिक्ट करना बहुत मुश्किल है, क्योंकि क्या होता है, देयर आर सो मेनी थिंग्स, आई विल नॉट एबल टू गिव सेंसेक्स लेवल, बट आई कैन गिव द आउटलुक ऑफ मार्केट। So my view, short-term outlook is definitely surrounded by global clouds. You have 3 major issues in world right now. The world is terrifically slowing down. You know, UK's inflation is 9%. India's inflation is 4%. हमने ये पूरी जिंदगी देखा है कि हमारा इन्फ्लेशन 9-10 होता था और उनका 0 होता था। अभी उल्टा हो गया है। अच्छा, ऊपर से ऐसा है कि लंदन में आप जाओ तो कोई भी रेस्टोरेंट खाली नहीं है, सब भरे हुए हैं। पब्लिक बिंदास दारू पी रही है, मैच देख रही है। मैं विंबलडन देखने जा रहा हूँ अगले महीने। तो ये पूरा खर्चा कर रही है पब्लिक, और इन्फ्लेशन 9% पे, और इंटरेस्ट रेट 50 बेस पॉइंट से बढ़े हैं। तो वर्ल्ड एक अलग जगह पे जा रहा है। हमने ये सब देखा हुआ है, और हमारी जो पॉलिसीज है, मेरा ये मानना है, अभी की जो गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसीज यहाँ जो आरबीआई ने जिस तरह से मैनेज किया, इनफैक्ट अभी आरबीआई गवर्नर को बेस्ट गवर्नर ऑफ द ईयर अवार्ड मिला है ग्लोबली। सो उन्होंने जिस तरह से ये पूरा क्राइसिस बोले या जो ग्लोबली जो हो रहा है वो मैनेज किया है, in terms of currency management, in terms of even demonetization, the second demonetization, even in terms of current account deficit, how we change our whole journey of current account. नहीं तो हम हमेशा ऑयल खरीदते थे महंगा, जो ऊपर जाता था, अभी ये टाइम रशिया से 20% डिस्काउंट में ले रहे हैं। तो जो पॉलिटिकल चेंज हुआ है, जो इस तरह से गवर्नमेंट सोच रही है, वो बहुत अच्छा हो रहा है देश में, कि ये लोग स्ट्रेटेजिक सोच रहे हैं, अपॉर्चुनिटी भी सोच रहे हैं। तो यूएस से भी झगड़ा नहीं करना है, वहां जाके व्हाइट हाउस में बैठ के आए, और रशिया से भी झगड़ा नहीं करना है, तो दोनों को भाई भाई करके दोनों से काम निकलवा रहे हैं। बहुत टेक्निकली काम हो रहा है। तो मुझे लगता है ऐसा मैंने कभी दिन देखा नहीं कि करंट अकाउंट सरप्लस हो कंट्री में। मैंने आपको सब डेटा दिए, ऑटो सेल्स देखो, केपेक्स देखो, मैंने तो यार नेगेटिव तो कुछ है ही नहीं मार्केट में, वेरी फ्रेंकली। अभी क्या शॉर्ट टर्म में हो सकता है, ग्लोबल इन्फ्लेशन कैन हर्ट ग्लोबल स्लोडाउन। यूएस के इंटरेस्ट रेट हमने कभी लाइफ में देखे नहीं, 5% है। आपको पता है यूएस में हाउसिंग लोन 60% पे मिलती है, इंडिया में 8.5% पे मिलती है। तो आप सोचो कितना गैप हो गया। जो 2% का हाउसिंग लोन अभी इंडिया में 18% था, हम 18 से 8 पे आए, 8.5 पे, वो 2 से 8 पे चले गए, 7 पे। दिस इज अ सी चेंज इन द वर्ल्ड, दैट्स व्हाई एवरीवन इज सेइंग इंडिया इंडिया इंडिया, दैट्स हाउ वी सेइंग। So short term there can be a clouds of global slowdown, there can be some correction because of ताइवान ने जाके, चाइना ने जाके ताइवान पे बॉम्ब डाल दिया, वो सब करेक्शंस अपने सामने है। बट आप ये देखो कि यार वो करेक्शन में करना क्या है, हमको बेच के जाना है या लेके जाना है, तो वो कॉल है। इंडिया इज ऑलवेज, इफ यू आस्क मी फॉर नेक्स्ट 10 years, one line statement is a buy on dip market. Is always buy on dip. Whenever you have money and there is a dip, don't think just go and buy good quality stock. The only idea is either you buy good quality stock, either give to a fund manager who understand better. But short term outlook thoda है definitely. India is doing best in the world. We are like a shining star in the world. Despite the an inflation control में, interest rates control में, तो मुझे लगता है कि ज़्यादा कोई वरी नहीं है। और स्मॉल कैप मिड कैप अगर आप देखो इंडिया में 2 साल का कंसोलिडेशन हुआ है, 2-2.5 साल के बाद हम थोड़ा सा बाहर निकले हैं। तो मुझे लगता है दिस इज गोइंग टू हैव स्टे फॉर वेरी लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम। जब आप देखो जापान का चार्ट, आप देखो 20 साल पहले जापान में क्या, सॉरी 60 साल पहले जापान में क्या हुआ, 15 साल पहले चाइना में क्या हुआ, 30 साल ये सब ने हॉकी स्टिक खेला है कि एक बार ग्रोथ मोमेंटम चालू हो और राइट गवर्नेंस है, राइट एजुकेशन है, राइट डेमोग्राफी है, राइट एंटरप्रेन्योरल स्किल है, नोबडी कैन स्टॉप यू। आपको खाली क्या करना है, नीचे के जो 70% लोग हैं उनको ऊपर लेके आना है, उनको ऊपर लेके आओ, आप देखो कैसे एवरीवन गेट्स बेनिफिट आउट ऑफ इट।
Sir, I have a question. Vikram sir, here on the stage yourself.
ओके
In addition to what Jeetu bhai said, don't you think, of course, 2008-9 के बाद भी India was poised to become the next growth story. India was going to become the next China. Again in 2020-23, after the pandemic, again India is being poised to become the growth story under the Modi leadership. But don't you think the skill development or the education or the middle class, which was a strong factor certain years back, but since the consolidation is happening and a lot of people are moving from the entrepreneur to the salaried class at the lower level, so don't you think this would, two factors would become the hurdle in the coming growth story? Because at the time of 2001 also, after the software boom, we had to lag behind. So this could also be one of the...
So let me answer your question of, I also felt that a lot of entrepreneurs, small entrepreneurs are going now towards a job, or they're selling their companies and getting retired. I'd seen that trend a lot nowadays. This is happening because of the, when your economy start becoming more formalized. So then small players have a issue. Now, for example, if you have a guy in Surat who is making sari, and you have a garden which is making sari with paying GST, and everyone has to pay GST now. So automatically, guy who was avoiding excise or small scale, now he's part of the formal economy. You have to come to formal economy, and your margins will going to get impacted. So that's one reason. And that trend I've seen, that a lot of people are leaving their, entrepreneurship, and some people are coming here. On the other side, your unicorn story of India, where we've seen the top best 150 unicorn, which has created over $1 billion wealth each, have built up. And this is just on. I don't think so it's going to go behind. It's going to go on. So there are mixed trends there. But people who don't want to be part of formal economy, maybe they are going towards the entrepreneurship. Coming to what happened in 2003 or 7 or even post-Modi era, first era, we have seen a big slowdown and issue. Now, honestly, that time, the two things didn't happen. COVID didn't happen. So world was always dependent on China. They seen that China has created such a trouble for us. Now they want to see alternate. And alternate is not only India, by the way. People think that China, India mein aa jayega, aisa nahi hai. China will still remain a very dominant factor because China's policies, infrastructure, execution quality is 10, 20 times better than India. The port facilities. अपने यहाँ पे port unloading, loading में 7-8 दिन निकले, 2 दिन में सब हो जाता है. So they are much advanced in terms of thinking, but what they are losing out is the world's confidence. So that's where India is getting big benefit. Look at Mexico. It's getting a big benefit of the world. So I think it's a time where all the things are playing right, where you have the good governance, you have a very solid strategic policies, good relationship globally, and also your middle classes now wake up. We've seen that one cycle of unicorn entrepreneurship. I think all the factors, you can say the best khichdi recipe has now built, and which will, so you may have short-term turmoil, like you said, Jitubai said, but you will not see this is going to stop India anyway. Unless you don't take the 78% at $1,250 per capita, if you keep them there, which will not happen, then the social unrest or things can start. Otherwise, I think we are if you ask me, we are on a jet speed in the world, which is growing at 2-3%, we are at 7%. So we are on a jet mode, actually.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Anyone else from the audience who would like to ask question? Yeah. Yes, sir, please.
अभी जो इंडियन इक्विटी है उसमें थोड़ा एसएमई आईपीओ और उसके बाद एचएनआई प्रोडक्ट जो है पीएमएस और एएफ, उसके लिए थोड़ा सूरत में डिसिप्लिन सिखाइए. होशियार तो बहुत है, लेकिन इक्विटी को कैसे टाइम दे बाय एसआईपी एंड ऑल दिस थिंग.
तो मैंने आपको 3 चीज सिखाई कि आपको क्यों खरीदना है. वो तो बहुत सिंपल है कि इंडिया अच्छा स्टोरी है, तो उसमें 20 साल का स्टोरी है, तो क्यों खरीदना है वो तो भूल जाओ. क्या खरीदना है वो आपका क्वेश्चन है. क्या खरीदने में आइदर आप खुद मैनेज कर रहे हो, तो जो ब्लू चिप कंपनियां हैं, जो कंपनी अच्छा कर रही है, जिनका फाइनेंशियल अच्छा, अगर आपको समझता है, मोस्टली काफी लोग को नहीं समझता है, डिस्पाइट दे आर से बिकॉज दे आर बिजी विद समथिंग एल्स, दे डोंट हैव टाइम टू रियली मॉनिटर इट. जैसे मैं और जीतू भाई पूरा दिन यही करते हैं, तो हमको पूरा दिन ये सब नंबर याद रहते हैं. आपके पास दूसरा काम होगा तो आपको याद नहीं रहता है. तो इन दैट सिनेरियो, गिव इट टू अ म्यूचुअल फंड, गिव इट टू एसआईपी, गिव इट टू, इफ यू हैव लार्जर मनी, गो टू पीएमएस ऑल्सो. दे आर गुड ऑप्शंस फॉर द एचएनआई community. But for the normal people in India, I think SIP is the tool, and the cost structure of SIP is also very good. Like we run our AIF and PMS, but we have all the clients who are super HNIs and HNIs who are like put 10 crore, 20 crore. But then for normal people, I think I feel mutual fund is the best way to invest into India. It's a very cost efficient, and just keep investing. That's all about it. That's the only thing you have to do. You don't have to do anything. You don't need to बोलते हैं ऑटो पायलट पे लगा देने का है और कुछ नहीं करना है. हाँ, कोई डिप आए तो आपका 10,000 का SIP लाख कर दो ना, क्या फर्क पड़ता है. वो डिप में आप 1 लाख और डाल दो, उसको सुपर SIP कर दो. बट अदरवाइज आई थिंक कुछ करने का जरूर नहीं है. एक्चुअली ज़्यादा करने में नुकसान है. अगर ज़्यादा चर्न करने गए, ज़्यादा खेलने गए, तो उसमें आप कभी आप हर टाइम गलत राइट टाइम नहीं कर सकते बाजार को. तो समटाइम यू मे लूज दैट फील बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली वी आर ह्यूमंस, राइट. वी आर बायस्ड विथ आवर ओपिनियंस. हमने एक बाजू के घर में झगड़ा देखा तो बोलता है इंडिया इकोनॉमी खराब हो गया. वो नहीं होता है एक्चुअली. तो ऐसा है. तो
सर, many billionaire and millionaire, the data is saying that around 6,700 persons each year living in India. So whether it will affect the economy, on the effect of our Indian economy, other thing. There in entrepreneurship, India is losing. So which type of correction you suggest that should the government take to cut the migration and to
incentivize them to stay here. Why should
Yeah.
they go off India? That's a brilliant question. I think that's one of the best questions I ever got. You're right, actually. A lot of people are living in India. Forget about living in India. I'll tell you one more story of almost 6 lakh kids goes to education to US, UK, Canada and all that. 80% goes to US. There was a survey last year done by the, I think, McKinsey or KPMG, that 92% of the kids who goes to US don't want to come back. And 8% those who want to come back are compulsory coming because their fathers are Adanis or Jindals or Goenkars or something like that. They are coming back because they have to come because they have large size business here. 92% don't want to come back, of which 80% don't come back. It means 73% of kids we are losing every year from India. And these are the best talent because they're going to US, to the top universities, and they are the best talents. And US smartly keep them there. You know, India में अगर कोई इंजीनियर बन के आएगा तो उसको 6 लाख का पगार मिलेगा, वहाँ पे उसको चालू 1 करोड़ रुपए से होता है. तो वो लोग को पता है कि जो वर्ल्ड का बेस्ट टैलेंट है वो लोग सूटा उठा लेते हैं. तो आप वर्ल्ड में देखो कि चाइनीज टॉप 3% चाइनीज, टॉप 3% फिलिपिनोस, टॉप 3% स्पेनिश, top Mexican, top Indian, top Israelis are all in US. So what is US today? US is a mix of all hybrids of all the cosmopolitan world and best talent. That's why US per capita is $75,000, we are $2,500. Because they retain the best talent and they don't care about the others to stay. Coming to this point, I think this is a big issue. Government is thinking on those lines, how do we make it more? See, India में एक क्या हो रहा है कि tax is very heavy for the individuals. You know better as a CA. 25% corporate भरता है और 40% highest individual भरता है. So that is the one thing they should do it. We in fact suggested in last budget only, last budget, sorry, that can you reduce the tax incidence, and you guys are better to tell through institute that can you cut down, because you have to bring the tax down. Our tax are very high, individual. So that's one of the reasons why it is happening. Second, lifestyle. So people are saying, yeah, Dubai is a much better place to live, or London is a better place to live, or US is better. So that's a fashion. But I'm sure when you see the growth in this country will come back. I know this year, those guys are studying in UK and they're qualified. They're not getting job in UK. Because British Telecom has cut the job, Barclays has cut the job. All the people are cutting job in UK. So they have to come back. See, because this economy is going to fly and others are going to go down. Barring US or Mexico or some of the other countries, all the European world, Japanese world, all going to shrink further. Chinese will shrink further in next 20 years. So India will forget about, I am saying other way around. I am saying India will not be telling NRIs to come back, but there will be Goras who come and stay here. जैसे US में, India में BSE 500 companies में ना खाली 3 गोरे CEO हैं, जो Indian company के 3 गोरे हैं. वहाँ पे 37% CEOs US में non-American हैं, जो non-American origin के हैं. Of course, down they become American citizen. So ऐसा होना चाहिए, ऐसा दिन आना चाहिए. That's why I harp on the point कि if you create a good universities here, if you have Stanford and MIT here, why should a kid go and behind that parent goes? One of the reasons this is also there. If the kid's going to stay there, parent बोलता है छोड़ने वाला एक छोकरो जो आपने US चले जाइए. That is also one of the reasons why people are leaving. So I think that we have to cut down, and by bringing good education institution, good R&D, good innovation, I think this country can do well. These are the areas government need to work a lot. Like look at Cisco, right? Cisco is built by the university fund. The entrepreneur didn't have money. He went to university and he got the money. He got a funding, and today Cisco is one of the best companies in the world. So I think this kind of thing we should kind of encourage. So you have more and more government programs and scholarship, like Aniket said, that CAs can have, Leh Ladakh guys can save 75% lower fees for them, or there's the EBC class ke liye we have the separate scheme. I think we need to create on education. If you don't educate the country on the lower side, you'll have a huge social unrest. So I think that's a big challenge and big opportunity for us. That's a very good question. I think government should forcefully look at this. How can we build a classic, great institution like world? Oxford and Cambridge and MITs should come on our place and build the universities. That's the one area which is pending. And I think it's not very far. I'm hopeful that we'll see some of the best universities in India. Then we don't need to send our kids outside, because we are getting everything here. And it's very expensive, because $10 billion every year, countries losing their dollar currency. And forget about $10 billion. We go to meet them thrice in a year. We go there with empty bags, come with the shopping. So we also spend another $1 billion, $1.5 billion on that. So $10-12 billion country का उड़ जाता है education में, और $14 billion अपना country का budget है देश का education का. तो आप सोचो कितना बड़ा पैसा जा रहा है. So it's a great opportunity and government should do quickly something on that.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, members. On behalf of Surat branch of WRC of ICAI, I, CA Prashant Vikaria, would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to CA Vikram Kotak, sir, for enlightening us on the topic of compounding effects in the capital market. His year of experience and in-depth understanding of the capital market is very informative, and we are grateful for his efforts to make this topic accessible to all. Moreover, we would like to extend our gratitudes to Surat branch office bearer for organizing this session and inviting CA Vikram Kotak, sir, as a guest speaker. These efforts allow us to gather here today and benefits from the wisdom and expertise of a prominent figure in the finance industries. Once again, I would like to appreciate CA Vikram Kotak, sir, for sharing his knowledge and insights on the compounding effects in the capital market. I request to members a big round of applause for our guest speaker.